What's going on, guys? I wanted to do a review of the Cruising Comfort air conditioning system. Before I did the review, I wanted to run it for a little while and test it out. I want to really make sure, what I wanted to do is make sure this thing, just to know what this thing could do. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's amazing. This thing is so cool. I actually put it through probably its biggest test last night, and I'll go over that here in a second. First and foremost, I did a video of the install on this, the whole install. I'll put the link at some point in this video. If you go back and look at my videos, you'll see a Cruising Comfort air conditioning install. It's there. That'll kind of get you up to this point of my review where I'm at. Second of all, mad props to the guys at Cruising Comfort. Chris Fry and the guys, those guys are amazing. Their customer service is amazing. Their support. Chris probably would have spent all the time I needed. I probably could have asked a million questions. He probably would have given me a million answers to a certain degree. I guess we're all at a point where you wouldn't get to a million. I think 15 to 20 questions would probably be enough, but the instructions were laid out so well, and I understood the electrical hooking up was easy. Charging it up, a buddy of mine and I had to purchase the pump and the lines to in the Freon, which you will have to do to pump it up and get everything charged. And it wasn't hard. It's just I'm not an AC guy, but when you charge it up, it is an automotive charging system. It's not for residential. This is a 12-volt automotive air conditioning compressor. Now, don't think you could just go get an air conditioning compressor from a car and go set one of these up. I mean, you'd have to be very good to get it to work. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but the guys at Cruising Comfort went through a lot of R&D to get this thing done, and I'm telling you, it's an amazing unit. The biggest thing about running this thing, they tell you, is simply this. If you've had this thing sitting all day and it's warm and in the heat, obviously, we had rain earlier, but the walls have cooled down, but it's a little warm and stuffy in here. I think when I first turned the car on to run it, it's about 86 degrees in here now. So they tell you, get the room down to temperature that you want it. In this case, I've set the thermostat to about 78 to 80, and it's a cold 80. It's not like it's a hot 80. And I think around 80 degrees, this thing doesn't work that hard. And I'll tell you what, I got the single fan, and the fan speed, I think it's 2 or 3 speeds, depending on the fan you get. I think I've got 2. I need to find out on that, but I'm on the second speed, maybe high, and it's only pulling 27 amps. And it on its highest, it will pull 46 amps. 46 amps on its highest. Now, on this 27 amps, once I got this thing down to temp, it shuts on and off normally like it would in a house. Last night, I ran this thing for about 8.5 hours, and it barely didn't even use 30% of my battery. And I've got, to clarify this, I have 200 amp hours of lithium-ion battery. I've got an Ames lithium-ion battery. It's 200 amp hours, true 200 amp hours. So it really was cool. I mean, this thing was put through the test. Totally off-grid, had nothing plugged in, no 20 amp in this thing or nothing. And I think that's just amazing, and I love it. Because as some of you might not require this unit, but I do. I live in the southeastern United States, and if you live in the southeastern part of the United States, you know how heavy the humidity is in the heat. And the humidity adds plenty of the insult to that injury. I'm telling you, it's not fun, man. You get in this stuffy heat box, man, and this thing is insulated so well. I use sheep's wool to insulate it, and before I did that, I put a layer of the closed cell foam foil coating around the whole room, and then put sheep's wool over the top, and then we have thin Luan plywood. And there's vents here. This thing breathes. It's not over insulated. It's just, I didn't want to over insulate it. You have to be very careful, so you don't want to just pack it in there. But I think it's with the right amount of insulation. I think it did the trick, and it's helped with soundproofing. You don't hear a lot outside unless someone's up on your vehicle talking loud or knocking on the side of the vehicle. So most certainly I'm going down the road. I don't get much road noise, but this unit is absolutely amazing. And my review, I mean, highly recommend Cruising Comfort. I'm going to say they're the only one in the world doing a unit like this. Now, there are units that they put in these 18-wheelers. I don't know 100% about those split systems. They're similar. But I will tell you, like, there's another unit company out there called King Tech, And that's not it says 12 volt, but it's not a true 12 volt because there's some conversion off getting that 120. It's a 120 volt compressor in there, and they're converting, trying to put it in DC and then actually inverting it again to drive the 120 volt compressor. So you've got more current flow being pulled in that unit than you do this one. Now, it costs a lot less than this unit did, but it's going to pull more power. That's not to say the King Tech is a bad system. I never run it. I've heard it's good, but the consensus right now is, and I believe it because I own it, and I'm telling you firsthand, your cruising comfort is the best out there. Now, you're more than welcome to put a roof mount Dometic or something on there and plug 120 volt somewhere if you're stationary, and that's fine. It's not going to be a problem. I just didn't want a rooftop in here. You don't even know there's an AC system in here besides the car. The way I have my vehicle set up, most people don't even give this vehicle a second look. Some people know, they see solar panels, they think of racks if they don't know. See the fan, but some people don't know much about it. They don't know that's a fan. It just says Max Air on the side of it. But anyway, I wanted to do a quick review of this because I think this unit is absolutely amazing. Right now, I'm running the vehicle. I'm cooling the room down, and it's currently about 85 degrees in here. Yeah, 85 exactly. That's a backwards 85. It's red that way. So I got the fan. Let's see, we'll turn this thing up on high. Get all the vents direct in here. Excuse me 1 second. You want to get the vents pointed directly into the room and make sure everything's coming back here. I kicked fans on. I've got these, as another added note, as a good review of these Sirocco Camfro. It's a company called Caframo in Canada. I screw that up every time. Caframo Sirocco 2 fans. They're about $100, but these little fans are absolutely amazing because I've got 2 of them, and you can mount them to the wall or do like I did. I do command strips Velcro, and they're stationary. It's amazing. So these fans will circulate the room very well and get that air pulled in here from the car. And like I said, the directions say, let your RV or your van AC cool the room a little bit. And then once it gets down the temperature, gets close to it, you turn this AC on with it and let the room cool both together. And when this AC cycles off, you've got it to temperature, then turn the vehicle off. And I close my thermal curtain, my blackout curtain, so this is 80 square feet. I can make sure the room is cool and clean. Cool and efficient. What did I say clean for? My apologies. But just make sure that the curtain holds the air in, make sure everything's thermal. That curtain does an amazing job. It's a thermal and a blackout, so it serves 2 purposes. Another side note, but anyway, just make sure you've got that taken care of. So the room is down the temp, and this thing cycles off, and then it gets up a couple of degrees. And I think I haven't done it, but I think the manual, you might can set this to let it turn on wherever you want within a certain amount of degrees. This gets up about 2 degrees. Like if I've set it, like last night I had to set it for 80, and it got to 82, it kicked on. So it kicked on every 45 minutes or so and just kicked off. And like on and off, barely used 3% every time of battery, on and off, probably sometimes less than that. During the day, when the sun's directly on, it's probably going to work harder. It would use more battery in 8 hours. That's obvious. You're going to have sun baking on the side of the van. It's going to warm it up. But if it's maintaining the temperature, it can hold it. It's just going to work harder. And that we know. It may take a little bit longer to get it to temperature, as you know, but at night, the average temperature here might get in the mid-80s or something, so it's going to maintain that room temperature a lot better. It's not going to kick on as much. And I think that's where it champions so well. You sleep at night with that, completely off-grid. Because this thing is not designed for me to be in it all day. I'm not in this vehicle all day. Today here I'm in Panama City Beach, Florida. I was out with my family, my brother and his family all day. Just wasn't even in the vehicle, so. But anyway, that's pretty much how that works. And like I say, if you're looking for a air conditioner that will work off-grid and very, very efficiently, average price range is somewhere around $4,600. Plus there's maybe shipping or supplies on it. But, in your build, if you want to budget most $5,000 in your build for this AC, it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I know it seems like a lot, but this van here, I bought it brand new. with the AC and my power system, everything together, I only have 13,000 in the build, somewhere around that. A lot of man hours, though. It's, takes time to do it. But if it hadn't had the AC or the power where I really wanted it at first, all the money I put in that, this build wouldn't be about $3,000 or $4,000. And like I say, that's the amazing part of these vans, is you can build them however you want. The way they're doing these all-in-one systems, my next power system, the next van I do, if I do, it's going to be an all-in-one system probably. It's less wiring you got to do, but I wired it up. I was very capable of doing it, and I loved it, so nothing wrong with that. Anyway, check out my build series on that if you want to do that, and hit like and subscribe on this deal. But listen, I just want to get mad props to Cruising Comfort, a good review on that, and you got my stamp of approval on that deal. You really do. I mean to tell you, so far this thing is a rock star, and there's just not a lot of good quality reviews out there. I think Jared Tachi and I are the only two that I know of that have done a in-depth install video, and Jared Tachi did a really good one too. I don't know if he finished it out. He did his review, his build series up to a certain point. He had a lot of guys helping him with it over out at Nomadic Customs and with Mark and them in Portland, Oregon. And he and I had our own twist on that, our own flavor on it. He did his in a Mercedes Sprinter, and I did mine in a Ram ProMaster. So, to clarify, this is a Dodge Ram ProMaster, a 2020 that this is in. So, build series will show you all that, and everything's good to go. And listen, thank you so much for watching. And like I say, Cruising Comfort, I'll put the website in the link too. It's Cruise and the letter N, Comfort, all one word, USA, cruisingcomfortusa.com. And until then, be cool. And as someone else I follow on YouTube would say, be well and smash that bell. Have a great one. Be cool. Bye.